Right, Man United Spurs.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on the game? What were your thoughts going into the game? So we sat here last week with Kev and we were kind of saying, what I was saying was I thought it was a little bit disrespectful towards Solskjaer, that people were saying, well, 5 games, he should have won them. It's kind of expected. Well, I wasn't expecting it. It was still a big achievement to all right, shackles are off. People use that term and he's just letting them go and play. There was more going into it than that. He would have been working with the analysts and the coaches, and with all due respect to those 5 teams that he played, they are better than them, so they can just go and play to a degree and be wary of certain areas where the opposition are strong, or look at areas that they can really get at. But this was their big test, and the way he changed it in playing with the diamond and matching Pochettino's team up was very, very impressive in the first half.
My thoughts going into it were, initially he's just changed the whole mood of the club brilliantly. As a United fan growing up, Solskjaer just exemplified everything great about that era. Just a good guy. But so he initially changed the mood in there. I thought almost instantly he managed to restore the values of the club. Now, I know that can be pretentious and non-Manchester United supporting people will roll their eyes. But there are values and traditions at the club that go back to Busby. And they have always played with pace and flair and tried to attack, and that counts for something. And it was amazing, watching under Van Gaal and then Mourinho, I thought, well, is that, maybe the tradition, maybe that is nothing more than just the brilliance of Ferguson, and actually that will disappear. But instantly Solskjaer identified the Matas and Fellaini's and just said, that's not
the way we want to go.
And it's not the traditional way the club play. And it was striking to me how quickly he restored a sense of what Manchester United should be, and Gary Neville made the point, and I thought it was well made, that no longer should any manager be allowed to come into Manchester United and just take away the DNA like a Van Gaal or a Mourinho did. So I thought it was incredible how quickly he restored those values and those traditions, and there was a sense of that's the direction the club has to go in now. It can't deviate from that again, because it just hasn't worked. And when a club is as rich as Manchester United and they can buy pace and buy talent, there's no reason not to play that way. And then going into the game, I thought he's done those two things brilliantly, the morale and then this sense of identity again restored. It's going to be really interesting to see, is there a tactical sophistication there? He's going up against the heir apparent in Pochettino. What's he going to do? And I must say, I thought, I'm worried if they just go all out attack again. And
I would have been.
If it's just as simple as pass the ball forward and make forward runs, which seemed to be the tone of what he had been saying,
basic terms.
And equally, I thought, well, if they just sit back Mourinho style, they don't really have a team who can do that either.
I thought going in, I didn't anticipate playing a diamond. I thought it would be a 4-3-3 type system, and they would have to come to some kind of compromise of an ability to sit in and at times respect Spurs because they're a good side with talented individuals, but then what do they do going forward with the pace and energy that we know that they have and the way he's wanted to go? Because you mentioned Mata, even Lukaku to a degree.
Lukaku now knows. That's the other thing, actually, talking with Nathan and Brian Kerr in commentary. We've had 3 years of Mourinho not knowing his best team. We were actually able to pretty much predict most of the personnel. Who was going to play. Okay, the shape caught everyone. But actually, with 3 years into Mourinho, we're saying, what's the best team?
Exactly,
You now have a good feel for what the best United team is. That's not easy to figure out. He's doing a million different things over the last couple of weeks, and he's managed to figure out the best team. I thought it would be a mishmash, whereas actually there was a real clear plan.
There was a clear plan, and the time away in Dubai where they were obviously helped in terms of being able to work specifically on this plan. So if we've got Spurs in white here, obviously, and Trippier on the ball, for instance, the way United set up was with Martial and Rashford playing as a split centre-forward pair. Now, it's clever because, and this is the way you would try and contain there's a lot of talk in football about it's hard to get two players, it's hard to get two up front. But if you've got players like this, they can play wide, we know that. In theory, you can play as two split strikers and they should be able to contain a back four. So that there causes much more of a problem for the opposition back four than more of a central two where you're thinking, okay, the ball's on this side, and in my opinion, this is what should have happened. We know Spurs have been playing a diamond recently, so you're very strong in the width of the 18-yard box, stroke 6-yard box. That's where they like to go and play, and the width is provided by the fullbacks. Trippier on the right, Rose on the left-hand side, Vertonghen and Alderweireld at the back. As this happens, a Trippier comes forward. This is what I think, Sean, and it's very basic. You can't be up high and wide as well. You have to come back to make a 3v2 because you're playing against two very, very talented, quick centre forwards, Martial and Rashford. That didn't happen.
Yeah.
He was still in this type of area where he's never going to be able to recover. Harry Winks and Lingard also was an issue because Lingard is bright, he's intelligent. You've seen it for the one where he nicked possession, where he comes back into an area, nicks it, and then Rashford's in this type of area for the goal. They just didn't react quick enough to what Manchester United set up to do, and Spurs they weren't respectful enough.
No, I must say I was very surprised. So you're looking at Pochettino now as maybe the heir apparent, and so you're watching everything he does very closely. There were a few occasions in the first 20-30 minutes where it was 2-on-2.
Yeah.
And Rashford and Martial against Vertonghen and Alderweireld. You don't need to point out which two were the faster.
Yeah.
It was dangerous. And there was a point where Martial was almost in early on. And so 2 or 3 occasions, certainly 2, where it was 2v2.
Yeah.
And I thought, surely Pochettino is going to say to Davies or to Trippier, just one of you hang back. That's not a complicated message.
Yeah.
Just let's keep it 3v2.
Yeah.
So I actually came away from that game, yes, thinking Solskjær, I think Neville used the phrase, caught him out. But I came away thinking, why did Pochettino not react to that? Is it just because they were at home and he felt almost...
It was too gung-ho. It was too open. And it was end-to-end. But if you looked at United's fullbacks on the flip side of that, playing the same system, obviously, difference was the split strikers. Spurs played with more of a Kane and Son goes roaming, I suppose. But their fullbacks were actually quite conservative. So their centre-halves were well protected.
Yeah.
And obviously Matic in front in terms of an enforcer, a defensive head, is a different kettle of fish to Harry Winks on the flip side, who is a ball player. He's a recycler of possession. Matic is aware of that. So even balls into the front two, he's screening it, whereas Winks gets attracted to the ball. And it was a poor 45 minutes from them. But on the flip side of that, it changed quite quick in the second half. But then Solskjær reacted to that.
They both went 4-2-3-1, is that right, in the second half?
Both in the second half. Spurs clearly had the better of the second half. David De Gea produced 11 saves, I think, in 45 minutes. But it was very rare, even from the off, to see a diamond against a diamond. Like I'm a big fan within football games of, if I was in charge of a team, the ability to change. So teams, your personnel knowing different systems. So to be able to flip from that or flip back, I think causes opposition big problems. But you're right in terms of Pochettino in the first half.
It was odd because it was so simple, wasn't it?
And with all due respect, anybody watching it was like, okay, you're getting into good areas, you're brilliant in these type of areas, but really?
Yeah. Really?
Ball into here, Lingard nicks it, Pogba's got the ability to find that ball.
Yeah.
You really want that?
I was surprised because it's almost so glaring. You know what I mean? Like if a Leinster Senior League were 2v2,
is that stubbornness though? Is that because you're right? He has to have seen it, and especially that one. Whatever about Alderweireld, pacey, Vertonghen up against Rashford here. By the way, I thought Lloris should have done better for the goal. I thought that was a big difference in the sides of all the two goalkeepers. But
and look, Spurs should have still won 2 or 3-1. I accept that. So before you come away saying, look, Solskjær did really well. However, the second half, you saw the gulf between the two teams. But I just thought it was, from a Manchester United point of view, they gave Spurs huge respect in how they set up. But it was really encouraging to see they still had a threat.
Yeah.
Because too often under Mourinho, they've set up well,
that
but
personnel
had no
wouldn't
threat.
have, if he had gone with a diamond, what would have happened would have been, say we bring it back and Trippier's here when we're talking about splitting the back four, what Mourinho would have expected would have been you track him back.
Yeah.
And then your threat of the counter-attack's gone. Yeah. Then it's easy. Then it's okay. There's your 2v1.
And then when Pogba gets the ball, what does he do?
Yeah.
Kicks it up to one man.
That's a difficult one because one contests it, one sweeps behind, and it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
Whereas that takes balls to say stay up, and we will deal with that man for man in midfield. our back four comes a little bit more compact, and we might sacrifice a little bit of possession in this type of areas.
Yeah.
But what we're not going to do is engage in here, engage higher up, and leave all these spaces here for.
Yeah, because and balls is the word, because early on Spurs got in around here.
Yeah.
Do you remember? And so I'm sure Solskjær sat there and thought, oh my God, these are good.
Yeah.
Will I tell Marcus Rashford to come back and help out?
Yeah.
I love that he didn't.
Yeah.
Right? I love that he said,
it's in his DNA though. You're talking about the club DNA.
Totally.
It's in his DNA. And he's even saying as soon as he comes into that building, the level of players that he's working with.
Yeah.
People are quick to say, well, at Cardiff, you need to manage in a certain way.
Yeah.
Because of what you've got to work with.
Yeah.
Player-wise, ability-wise, you have to play in a 4-5-1 at times, going away from home.
Look, it's been 6 years of misery and really just dull football, slow football. That's how I'd characterise Manchester United over the last 6 years. It's slow.
Yeah.
So I love that Solskjær, who's trying to get this job and could be tempted to try and let a 0-0 draw wouldn't be the worst here.
Yeah.
I love that he said to Rashford after that Spurs got in first here, stay up.
Yeah.
Let's have a go.
Yeah.
And for those reasons, he deserved his bit of luck. So look, I'd be massively encouraged.
Yeah.
Bit disappointed in Spurs, but I just think it's great.
Still think Pochettino's the man for the job, though.
On balance, he probably is, but honestly, there'll be a huge.
Can't do it. What more can he do at the moment?
Oh, I know, but
what more can Solskjær do? I think he's been phenomenal.
There'll be a huge. I mean,
breath of fresh air.
The PSG game will be very important, obviously, but I'd say there's just a huge groundswell around Old Trafford now of, do you know what? This club has lost its identity. This is someone who gets the identity. There is a clear line here from Solskjær to Ferguson, almost to Busby. You feel like Ferguson and Busby were connected in some ways.
Yeah.
Why not try that? And it's not rational. Like, it's a more romantic version of things. But that groundswell will be
gone rational in the last couple of appointments to a degree. Definitely with Mourinho, in terms of they went away massively from the DNA of the football club and the philosophy of the football club, and they went for, okay, we need results. This fella's a proven winner, and obviously that.
If they're looking at a director of football long term, someone like Solskjær ticks a few boxes there.
Yeah.
He understands football. He understands the club. He's an ambassadorial figure.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's looking good, and I fly over every weekend, as you know, and you bump into United fans, Liverpool fans, whatever type of flight area I'm going from, and the atmosphere amongst them has just transformed.
Yeah.
Like literally, they were coming back, certainly towards the tail end of Mourinho the last few months. Oh my God.
You wouldn't watch
literally feeling sorry for them.
You couldn't watch the games.
These lads are paying to go over here and watch this.
Yeah. I mean, look, he's going to lose some games 3-2, but that'll be fine.
Yeah.